Hey guys, what's up? And this is the Vernee Apollo X, the latest Vernee phone to enter the market, and it's looking to be a pretty good phone from Vernee. What has me a little confused is that Vernee has already released a phone with almost the exact same specs called the Vernee Apollo Lite, so why release this? The biggest change is the 3500 mAh battery and a different Sony sensor. Is this going to be a good phone? Let's find out. This phone has good build quality. The metal feels good to the touch and is a tiny bit slippery, but the phone doesn't look as good as it feels. Sure, the metal is high quality, but the design is not as sleek as I would like. It looks similar to the Vernee Apollo and the Vernee Apollo Lite, but a little less modern. There is plenty of bezel around the screen and the phone is pretty thick as well. We have a USB-C port flanked by two speaker grills as well. The Apollo X uses a 1080p sharp ISO display that is quite beautiful to look at. The screen is crisp, the screen displays some deep and vivid colors for an LCD screen of course. This still falls behind AMOLED and OLED displays. In terms of maximum brightness, the screen maxes out at around 400 nits, which actually isn't that great, but you could have trouble seeing it in direct sunlight. There is Gorilla Glass 3 protecting the screen as well. The audio grills are beside the USB-C port, and they pump out some decent volume, not super loud mind you, but definitely enough volume. We also hear some average quality coming from the speakers. You do have some mids and highs, but there is no bass. Have a listen for yourself. Yourself. We have a 3500 mAh battery in the phone, and you get some good battery life but not great battery life. I was able to get around 6 hours of screen on time with about 3% battery left, which is good but not great. For example, the Redmi Note 4 also gets 6 hours but had 21% left, so the Apollo X definitely still gets less battery than the Redmi Note 4, but that's understandable as the Redmi Note 4 has 4100 mAh battery here. Heavy users will be able to get through a day, but it's definitely cutting it close. Light and mediums are okay. So the Apollo X is the first phone to feature Vernee's new operating system named VOS. So I don't know if VOS is so close to stock that I can't tell the difference, or if this is just a truly stock ROM, but either way the operating system is still fine. Performance is great. The Helio X20 handles opening and closing apps with ease, and with 4 gigs of RAM the phone multitasks very well also, no complaints here. The phone is also a beast at gaming. I saw zero slowdowns playing intense games like Asphalt or Mortal Kombat. No issues here. Moving on to the fingerprint sensor, it's also pretty fast and very accurate. Nothing else to report about here. I get some pretty decent LTE speeds on my carrier here in Canada. Not the fastest mind you, but pretty good. But sadly my network provider does not support 3G data here. I did encounter one problem with connecting Bluetooth earbuds to my phone, but rebooting the phone fixed that problem. Wi-Fi and GPS both work very well also. The camera here takes some pretty good photos in good lighting conditions. Colors are reproduced nicely and vividly, detail is there. Dynamic range is a little bit weak, but HDR fixes that. In low light the camera performs poorly. The photos don't have a lot of detail, but they do have a lot of noise. The front facing camera takes some good selfies in good lighting, but selfies are often taken in bad lighting, which makes the front camera not that great in bad lighting. So the sensor is supposedly able to take up to 4K video, but I was not able to enable it. I can only take up to 1080p video. The 1080p footage is good enough, but still does not compare to 4K. Hopefully Vernee enables 4K video on this camera soon. So to conclude, the Vernee Apollo X is a great phone. Vernee is still quite a new company, so for them to create such a good phone in such a short amount of time is quite impressive. The weakest part of this phone is probably the audio and the design of the phone. It just doesn't look very modern. The camera can be good or bad depending on your situation, so I did not identify that as a weakness. However, the biggest issue the Apollo X has is the price. Without sales or coupons, the price is $220. Thing is, you can buy the Redmi Note 4 for $200, no sales or coupons, which has 3 gigs of RAM, a bigger battery, and MIUI instead of stock. In my opinion, the Redmi Note 4 represents slightly better value than this with no coupons, but depending on what kind of sales or discounts you can get, the race gets much tighter. Thanks so much for watching this video. Be sure to hit like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next one.